Hi, everybody, and welcome to OPI's Amazon Live. My name is Sigourney Nunez, and I'm part of OPI's education team. Today, I'm going to demonstrate how to do 3 cute and spooky nail art looks that you can recreate on yourself using OPI holiday shades. The first look I'm going to walk you through is this spooky crime scene look, then a swirly ghost, and then a webby negative space design. So if you have any questions for me or any on the techniques that I'm using, please let me know in the comments below. And of course, you can shop any of the products that we're using today in the link below. So first, we're going to start off with this webby look. I'm sorry, this crime scene design. And what we're going to do for this is use one of OPI's iconic shades called Alpine Snow. I'm going to keep these up here for reference. What I've done already to prepare my nails is I filed with a 240 grit file, and then I started off with OPI Natural Nail Base Coat. OPI Natural Nail Base Coat is a product you do not want to skip. You want to make sure you're adding this to your DIY routine so that one, it ensures longer wear, but two, also helps prevent the natural nail from staining. So for that crime scene design, we're going to start off with Alpine Snow, which is OPI's crisp true white. And we're going to add 2 coats of that. When you're painting your nails, you want to ensure that you remove as much excess product from the neck of the bottle so that you don't flood your natural nails. If you do happen to flood the natural nail, it's no big deal. I'll show you how to troubleshoot that. Then you want to get up as close to the cuticle as possible, pull down the color down the center, and repeat on one side, and then again in the other. It's okay if it's not perfect because you are going to repeat that with a second coat for full opacity. While we let that dry, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the second design, which is this super cute swirly ghost. What I love about this is that I'm using one of our new Shine Bright collections, so it actually has some hollow specks underneath, which is really pretty. It's a nice way to add some glitz to like a very spooky look. For this, I'm going to be using Heart and Coal. As you can see, love, love, love that hollow, beautiful speck. Gives it that really subtle rainbow finish in this dark, vampy glitter shade. So I'm going to do 2 coats of that on the middle finger to prep for that really cute ghost swirly look. So similarly to the last nail, remove as much product from the neck of the bottle. Get close to the cuticle, but not too much so you can push up. Then pull down. Going to reload my brush. I'm going to tilt my finger over so I can see the side a little bit more. Pull down on the color, tilt the other direction, and then swipe it down. Kind of ran out a little bit of some product there. So reload and swipe down. And then I'm going to wrap the tip with some color. I'm going to let that dry for a little bit. OPI's Shine Bright collection features 12 new beautiful limited edition shades, including Heart and Coal, but we also have some other sparkly colors like the one I'm wearing right now. This one is called To All a Good Night. So although both on the darker end of the color spectrum, they have their own different unique finishes. This one, of course, being a little bit more of my favorite because it has that hollow in it. But this is more of like a steely blue, sort of like a gunmetal finish, but with a little bit of blue tint in it. And this one's To All a Good Night, which is what I have on my nails right now. Really pretty too. I'll walk you through a couple of the other shades we have in the collection. This one is All a Glitter, a Twitter. So what I really love about OPI's holiday collection called Shine Bright is that we amped up the glitter to really amp up the glitz and glam this holiday season. I know that most of us are still celebrating at home, but we can get a little party on with some really cute glitter nails, right?
You're doing great.
So I've given Alpine Snow a little bit of time to dry, so I'm going to go ahead and add a second coat. The second coat's really going to give you that color payoff and really give that opacity that you're looking for. So removing majority of the product from the neck of the bottle, getting close to the cuticle but not overflooding it. Pull down the center. Then I'm going to twist my nail over. You can see I kind of have a bald spot because I totally missed it. But no worries. That's what the second coat's going to do, is cover it. Pull down, twist to the other side, and then complete the look. I'm a little bit particular when it comes to my nails, and I want the look to be really refined. And so I'm going to show you a pro tip. Although this looks great, it can look better. One of my secret weapons is my cleanup brush. This is just a standard painter's brush you can find on Amazon. This particular one is a Simon Filbert number 4. Not designed for nails, but you can use it to, you can add it to your nail art arsenal. So what I'm going to do is I have some OPI Expert Touch Remover in a pump bottle here. And I'm going to saturate my brush in some remover. I'm going to, let me get a closer look here. I'm going to wipe away just a little bit around the cuticle area to give it a more uniformed and professional look. So even though I'm doing my own nails at home, I want it to look as professionally done as possible, and doing this extra step kind of gives it that more uniform and professional feel. So a really tiny pro tip there, but you can already see the difference. So I'm going to let Alpine Snow dry, and I'm going to go ahead and move on with a second coat of Heart and Coal. One thing to note is that you want to apply your glitter shades really thinly, or as thinly as possible. You're better off doing 3 thin coats of glitter shades versus 2 big gloppy ones, because it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So just one thing to keep in mind. And so especially because we are putting nail art over this, I want to make sure it's dry before I move on to the next step of like adding the ghost nail art. Okay. So right now, if you're just tuning in, my name is Sigourney, and I'm part of OPI's education team. And I'm walking you through some really spooky but wearable DIY Halloween nail art designs using OPI's Shine Bright collection. So if you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments, but you can also shop these shades below. While we let the first 2 coats dry, I'm going to move on to my third finger just to prep it for that third webby negative space look. For this one, I'm using Let's Take an Elfie, and this is a beautiful pearly deep plum color. There's a couple ways to do this. You can use a bottle brush only to create that negative space design, or you can use a detail brush. I'm going to show you how to do the bottle brush first, in case you don't have any nail art tools. So similar to before, I'm going to take Let's Take an Elfie, remove as much product from the neck of the bottle, and then I'm going to tilt my finger because I'm going for a negative space design that has kind of like a color cutout at the tip. So tilting my finger over and then swiping down the nail, and it gives that negative space look. So earlier we talked about boo-boos and how to clean them up. What I do for this is no point in panicking, because you can easily swipe that off with your cleanup brush. My cleanup brush is just saturated in OPI's Expert Touch Nail Lacquer Remover. And that's it. I'm going to wait for that to dry a little bit. I wouldn't normally wear all these designs together. So one thing I did earlier is I paired the really cute negative space webby look with the ghost look, and it gave it a more cohesive feel. But today I'm just kind of demonstrating to you some different techniques that you can get fun and playful with, because holiday nail art season really kicks off with Halloween. It's a really fun time to get playful with our nail polishes and get a little bit more adventurous with our nails, right? So Halloween's a really great opportunity to do that, and there's a lot of inspiration that you can derive from, like ghosts, spiders, and things like that. So I'm excited to be demonstrating these looks for you all today. So just giving Alpine Snow and some time to dry before I move on to the next step. But one thing I will recommend that you all have in your toolkit today is a nail foil. This is OPI Expert Touch Removal Wrap, but if you don't have this, no big deal. This is a product that we use to easily remove gel manicures, but one of the reasons why I'm doing this today is because it is a piece of foil, so if you have any kitchen foil, this will work great too. The reason I use foil as my palette instead of, say, this table towel is because the polish is going to absorb in that table towel and it will give you less time to play with it. So with the foil, although it still dries because it is lacquer and it has solvents and that it's going to evaporate, the foil just kind of buys me a little bit more time to play with my colors in my palette. So now I'm going to move on to show you how I did this crime scene look. It's a little bit unconventional. It's going to get a little bit messy, but it's nail art and it's also easy to clean up. So for this look, I'm going to use Ready for the Holidays. I'm going to show you the shade name here. If you love this red, you can shop it in the link below. It's a really beautiful, rich, classic red that we all need in our nail polish collection. So the trick for this look is I'm actually going to use my own fingerprint to get that look. And so I'm going to add some color to my palette, but not too much because we want it to get pretty sticky. And we also don't need it too opaque. So the less opaque, the better. I can show you here. It's a little bit more opaque on this indentation versus this one. The point is to really see the fingerprint. So for this, you're going to take Ready for the Holidays, remove as much product from the neck of the bottle, and then all you need is like a simple swipe on your palette, and then you're going to take your finger, it can be any finger, really, pinky, pointer, whatever, and you're going to dip it on your palette. And if you want to remove some excess, just dip it on a table towel and then just pat it onto the nail, and then you have spooky, crazy crime scene nails. And that was really easy to do. So now I obviously have kind of looks like hot Cheeto fingers, but that's not the look I'm going for. So what I'm going to do is take an OPI Expert wipe, lint-free wipe. Ideally a lint-free wipe, because if you have a regular cotton ball and we're in the middle of painting our nails, you don't want any cotton ball fuzzies to get stuck on your nail polish. It's super annoying when that happens. So recommending lint-free, and then going to saturate this in our Expert Touch lacquer remover and just quickly wipe away without making sure I get rid of any of the color on my nails. So my nail polish is still intact. I removed Ready for the Holidays from underneath my nails, and then I still have that spooky crime scene nail. So that was really, really, really easy. And you can do this across all 10 fingers, and it's really easy to execute. So then what I would do for that is top with top coat, and then that's complete. Before I move on to showing you the ghost nail, I'm going to add my second coat of Let's Take an Elfie to this negative space diagonal before we move on to the next step. The first way I showed you was to use the bottle brush, but I'll show you now how you can recreate this negative space using a detail brush. So this is just a regular detail brush. It's already been cleaned, and how I clean it is just saturate it in remover and then wipe it clean on my table towel. When you are doing detailed nail art, you want to ensure that you kind of pull the color from this dollop here to ensure that you have a thin line on your brush. So then even I have a little bit of free edge showing. So what I'm going to do is fill that free edge and just kind of change the negative space here just to make sure I don't show any natural nail. There's no problem with showing the natural nail. It's just not the effect that I'm going for this look. So a benefit to using a detail brush to add this negative space look is that you get a little bit more precision than you would, say, using the bottle brush. There's no one is better than the other. It's just a matter of preference. So now that I have my outline done with my detail brush, I'm going to take my bottle brush And then I'm going to fill in the rest. And then gives it more of that opacity. Okay, going to let that dry before adding that webby look. Cool. So now I'm going to show you all how to do this ghost nail art. I'm particularly proud of this look. It's a look that I designed last Halloween season. I actually did it with negative space, so there was no color behind, but this year I wanted to make it pop. And one really cool thing is that it actually went a little bit viral on Instagram. So I had a lot of DIYers and nail techs recreate this look, and it was just really amazing to inspire people. I think one of the things that made this look really popular is that it's abstract, um, but it was also really easy to recreate. You can use a bottle brush or you can use a detail brush depending on how swooshy or swoopy you want to get with that like little abstract ghost. And it's cute. So just to recap what I've already done, this is two coats of Heart and Coal. It's that beautiful hollow black in the collection. If you can see here, this would look really beautiful in natural sunlight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to prep my palette with Alpine Snow to paint that little ghost. And I'm going to use a detail brush for this. So I'm going to load up my brush and then just get really swoopy and swirly with the look here. And it's okay if it's not perfect because you're going to fill it in. So I basically just kind of start off with like an S shape. Let me get closer here. And then just continuing it on with more just really organic swooshy swoops is the best way I can describe it. Swooshy nail art has been really trending, and so it's really great to see this come to life in a Halloween inspired look. And so what I'm going to do now, I actually did not show you, but I think this is really important. Let me clean up my pump here. I'm very particular about the way I clean up my detail brush. So what I do is I load it with a little bit of OPI Expert Touch remover. And I have my detail brush. And whenever there's color in it, I always twist my brush so that it rolls in the remover. Because if I just dip it, it's not ensuring that it's removing all of the polish. And the reason I want to get rid of that old polish is because it tends to harden. And if my brush bristles are hardened, then it's going to get way of the fluidity that my bristles can move. So really important that I'm twisting my bristles. And then lastly, I'll show you here on this table towel that I'm kind of wiping away, but also twisting on here too. So normally by the time I'm done with nail art, my table towel is filled with little marks of nail polish residue from when I'm cleaning. And it's really important with nail polish that you're always cleaning your brush because it does tend to dry. It's different from gel polish that way because with gel polish, it's really forgiving, gives you lots of time to play with it. But with nail polish, because it does evaporate and it hardens or gets goopy, a really clean brush in between those nail art steps is going to ensure for more precision. And it's just going to be easier to work with. So basically what I'm going to do now is just fill in that ghost. I can use my detail brush or I can use my bottle brush. But what I'm going to do is just get really close to the area first with my detail before going back in there with my bottle brush. He's super cute. And as you can see, this is Alpine Snow that I'm using. This is OPI's True Crisp White. And even though I am painting over Heart and Coal, which is a black hollow glitter, I still have really great coverage of white over black, which is really amazing. So now I'm going to tilt my nail over a little bit so I can get a little closer here. And just continue to fill in the rest of that ghost. It looks so cute already.
You're doing great, sir.
Really love this look. You can change up the direction of the swoops and swooshes to get a little bit more variation. And you can see I have a little bit of um, polish on the side here. So I'm dipping my cleanup brush to remove it. And then I missed a little bit here, but no big deal. This is a really great time to reinforce why it's important to wrap the tip with color. This is going to give you longer wear. So normally, for example, myself, I spend a lot of time on my computer. I'm always typing. Usually the first part where you see wear and tear is at the tip, right? So always making sure that your tip has color to get that longer wear. So gonna let that dry for a little bit. Before we move on and add the dots, there's really no, a second coat of Alpine Snow is not needed here. That's just my personal opinion. I already have really great coverage from that first coat of color of Alpine Snow over Heart and Coal. But totally up to you. My opinion is I don't need it because I got the opacity that I wanted. I mean, it's a ghost after all, so it's okay if it's a little bit translucent. But my opinion is it looks great. And so the next step for this is I'll add 2 black dots for the eyes. It's an Alpine Snow, and I'll show you that in a little bit. So now I'm going to move on to our negative space webby look. What I've done so far is added 2 coats of Let's Take an Elfie, and this is that purple shimmer shade underneath. And then we're going to create a web using Alpine Snow. So similarly, I'm going to prep my brush. Here's a really good example of how I clean my brush before I move forward. So it might be hard to see, but there is hardened, so it's already hardened Alpine Snow on my brush. I'm going to dip it in this pool of Expert Touch and just simply roll it and turn it. And then all of the color is already removed. And then I'm going to repeat that step on a table towel. So now what I'm left with is that really nice clean brush. We are going to be doing some line work. So this is particularly important that your brush is clean. What I love about Spiderweb design too is that it's going to be organic and it is a webby feel. So then the web doesn't have to be totally perfect. I feel like we always say that when we're doing nail art. Really, there are no rules, but there are a couple things that, in terms of placement, make a difference when you are doing webby nail art. So I've already added some Alpine Snow to my palette. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling the color so that I get a really thin brush. And then I'm going to start at the edge where the color meets negative space. Let me move so you guys can see. And then kind of outline where the negative space and Let's Take an Elfie meet. So what I actually really love about this unintentional effect is that the web came out streaky and it's not a solid stripe. For me, that's actually really good because it adds to that webby element, right? But if you personally do not like this finish, then you can always go ahead and redo that stripe to make it more opaque. It's just a matter of how you want the nails to look. So now I'm going to repeat this step by adding another line, basically cutting out Let's Take an Elfie in half. Hopefully you all can see. And painting a stripe, right? We're basically just painting a bunch of different angles. Now I'm going to repeat this one more time to add a third stripe over in the negative space area. Pulling, again, I'm showing you here, pulling Alpine Snow to ensure I have a thin nail art brush. And then starting sort of at the middle of the nail plate and dragging down to where the other lines meet. And that's going to be your base for your spider web. Now, there's a couple ways to do this, but I've personally realized that when I'm doing spider web nail art, it's really important that the end of the lines connect with this little wide U shape. I've noticed if I don't have this wide U shape at the very end, it doesn't really, it has webby feels, but it doesn't really look like a true spider web. So I'm going to connect them first and then move down to fill in the rest. So again, making sure to reload my palette. This particular step is more important as you continue on because your space starts to run out on your nail. So now I'm going to connect one web to another using that wide U, repeating that, connecting one web to another. And then I'm going to do it over here too to add just a little bit more interest. And now it's just a matter of repeating that process a few more times to add in those details. So I'm going to add Alpine Snow and just adding those really wide U's. Okay, repeat. And then one more time. And sometimes too, if you want to make it a little bit more spooky, it doesn't have to be a U. It can be a diagonal like that, and so on. So here's what the webby nail looks like. Pretty good. And so that was all the nail art needed for this design. And of course, no manicure is complete without our top coat. For today, I'm going to be using OPI's traditional top coat, which is going to give it that beautiful, beautiful high shine. I actually just realized I forgot my little eyes.
Yeah.
I'm going to use black onyx for this. So OPI has their classic white. We also have our classic black. This is called black onyx. And I'm going to add a dollop of color to my palette. Then I'm going to take a regular dotting tool. I'm going to use the thinner side today because it's a really tiny ghost. When you're doing dotting nail art, you want to make sure that you don't stab the nail with your dotted cure because what that's going to do is add an indentation. So as you pick up your color, you just want to bop it on the nail. You don't want to jab it. I'll show you the difference. If you jab it, you'll get an indentation. If you bop it, you get this really cute little dot. So just be light and mindful of the amount of pressure that you're adding when you do use a dotter. So similar to a nail art brush, you always want to clean your dotter before you use it because that will impact dot size. And then lightly pick up some color and then just bop it on the nail. Repeat, lightly bop it on the nail. And I added different variations of the dot size because now he looks tripped out because he's a ghost, right? Super cute. So that was it for all the nail art. Just to recap, 2 coats of Alpine Snow, and then I used my own finger and Ready for Holidays to create that crime scene nail. Then I have Heart and Coal, which is that hollow glitter from our Shine Bright collection, with Alpine Snow for the ghost nail art and black onyx for the little eyes. Then I have Let's Take an Elfie to create that diagonal negative space cutout. Gives it that really nice shine of purple underneath. And then I used Alpine Snow for the web look. So last but not least, we're going to use OPI top coat to complete the look. I just did the nail art, so the last thing I want to do is smudge it. So I'll show you a pro tip. You want to glide over the top coat over the nail plate and limit the amount of contact the brush does with the nail art. So what I do is I tend to let a bead, see how a bead is forming at the end? I'm sorry if you can see it. Yeah. I let a bead form at the end of my brush, and I'm going to let that bead be the thing that glides over all of my work because it's less likely to smudge this way. So with my top coat, I am very, very generous, but still making sure that I don't flood the surrounding skin or the cuticle. So just really letting that bead of top coat that I showed you glide over all of the nail art. I'm going to skip this one because I just painted those 2 dots and move on to the webby look. And again, letting that bead of top coat just glide over, capping the free edge. And then I'll move on lastly to my little ghost look here. So really a generous amount, letting it glide over. And there you have it. Really spooky, easy to do Halloween nail art using OPI's Shine Bright collection. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial today. I can't wait to see what Halloween designs looks you all create with OPI shades. Make sure to tag us at OPI, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.